So first of all, great to see everyone. Happy 4th of July. Look at the little decorations here. This is awesome. For everyone, grab a flag. For everybody online, are they gone?
No, they're here. We're just not coming.
They're here. I'll get out of the way. Right there. Is it there? There you go. Wave your flags, because I am the Mr. 4th of July. I love the 4th of July. So we salute you guys. And okay, that's enough of that. We're a little crazy here at the office. Dan, how are you, man? Good to see you. So I love the 4th of July because it's about freedom. And it's about independence. And it's about liberty. And it's about escaping tyranny and taxes, and about, just the freedom to go and do, and the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, the really what it means is like that. And right now we are so numb to all of that. I'm just trying to pay the bill, trying to pay my phone bill. I tipped the waitress $200 for a meal. I think our meal was $180 and I tipped her $200. She cried in my arms. She goes, "Can I hug you?" She bawled. She goes, "I haven't been able to pay my phone bill for 2 months." And so I'm like, well, I can't do that. I used to tip 20 when I didn't have it, and then 40. Always, make a difference in people's lives. And I love what he said. They're not leads. They're people. They're human souls worth loving. Man, don't you want to be treated as valuable, right? As a human soul, and you connect to them authentically? That was so rich and good. You know why? Because he put himself through the meat grinder. And I'm going to tell you right now, take off my sandals because it's going to get wild. So here's the deal. I'm just straight up. Everybody I know who's made it at a high level was willing to fail radically, was willing to put themselves through the meat grinder and go, I'm not getting results with calling the expireds. I'm doing pay-per-click or whatever. It's not working for me. I tried the radio and failed. I tried it again and failed, but I tried it a third time and succeeded. I have failed 100 times more than I've succeeded. But because I was willing to fail 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, and you lean into the resistance, and that's what builds muscles and character and internal fortitude. So about 3 weeks ago, I was in South Carolina, and there's back on the East Coast, like Charleston and Nantucket and these different places, Washington, D.C., where George Washington crossed the Delaware, right? There's like a lot of history where people fought for the independence of the United States from England, to have freedom, for the right to pursue liberty, to build your own fortune. People traveled for months on a ship. A lot of them died just to have a chance. And we live right here. And you're like, well, the interest rates are kind of tough. Oh my gosh. Man, I was talking to Gogo the other day. She came from an ex-communist country where there was literally no opportunity. And she came here not speaking our language and had to, go to China and learn their language. Go to the Ukraine and learn their language and try to convince Ukrainians to do business with you. It's amazing what she did. And she's so excited because she seized the opportunity. Right. And there's this saying, like, how do you boil a frog? Well, you don't put it in a pan of boiling water. It'll jump right out. It's like, whoa. But if you put it in a pan and slowly turn up the heat, you will boil that frog alive. And in America, in the United States, we are getting boiled alive because they're just turning it up. And it's just picking up. And so I guess today, as I wrap up today's team meeting, I want you to realize, in the spirit of the 4th of July, one of my favorite, besides Christmas and Easter. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. I love those things. Halloween, not a fan. But anyway, but here's the deal. You got to realize one thing. And if you don't realize this, you're going to miss out. You are in a war for your family. You better kind of treat it like that. You better kind of, Tony Robbins, the foremost guy, he's like, step up. Step up. And so, like, well, I'm trying. That's no. Your hunger is your greatest asset. And go to Bill. I know about Bill. You know what? I went to Haas Pratt. Who's he? An amazing guy, and it changed my life. I went to NAE. What's that? An amazing seminar event. It changed my life. I went to Star Power with Howard Brent, which is now defunct. The guy passed away. It's gone, but it was like the leading thing. I went to Brian Buffini. I've been to Joe Stump. I've been to Mega Camp. I've gone to so many things, and it's all life changing. But sort of like, yeah, but I'm not going to go to Build because it's probably not good. And you know what? You're absolutely right. I think you're wasting your time. I think you should go to Build. When I go to NAREP or the Women's Council of Realtors or ARIA, man, I'm there on the edge of my seat. I'm ready to rock and roll. And I want to commend. I could commend a lot of you, but I noticed two in particular. Barry Mathis back there taking notes like a madman on his square. What do you call that? Tablet. On his tablet. I call this squiggly thing the squiggly thing. It's called a QR code. I have my own language.
That had a yellow pad in it, so
Yeah. Thank you. A tablet that looks like a yellow pad. I love it. But he's been taking notes nonstop. Clark Broom, we asked him who the speaker was, and because we were like, who is this guy? He's too good. And he was going through pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of notes. Don Peach, same thing in the back. Please, dear God, I have said it again and again and again. Do not come to the team meeting and just watch, because you're freaking gonna forget. Like, this is a war, it's a freaking battle. I got all those notes there. What do you think I remember the thing about these? These are people. I can teach his talk now, and I will replay that again. Well, you're kind of radical. Yes. Let me read you a couple things, in case you forgot. Just take a breath, everybody. So this is, it says, we must recall the basic principle of liberty is freedom of choice, which many having on their lips and on their minds have forgotten. That was by a guy named Dante. Yeah. This is, by the way, those are my feet. And I took a picture of the ground. This is the first Liberty building in Greenville, South Carolina. And all on these pavers are these quotes. Here's another one. Just want you to hear this. 4th of July. For those willing to give up a little liberty for a little security, deserve neither security nor liberty.
Amen.
Benjamin freaking Franklin.
Amen.
I'm shaking reading this up. I walked around for 30 minutes taking pictures of all these quotes because I think we forget. Here's another one. The cost of liberty is less than the price of oppression. Yeah. Yeah. Listen to me. You're being oppressed right now. Yeah. And I need you to rise up and freaking fight. And you're not going to grab a gun. You're going to shoot and stab with the spear on the end of your gun, which is what they did back then. You're not going to deal with cannon fodder and having your leg blown off. But you got to like man up. You got to woman up. If you go to Build and go, this is going to change my life, it will. And if you go to Build, go, nothing's going to change. You're right, nothing will change. It's you. It's you coming to these sales meetings and taking notes. It's you going to PCAR and taking notes. It's you going to the Women's Council of Realtors or NAREP or ARIA or Tom Ferry or Mike Ferry and taking notes. I'm begging you the rest of your life. I've said it so many times, but I see half the room not taking notes. I love you, but I'm begging you. You might have thought I was texting. I was taking notes in the back of the room. Yeah. There's this other guy right here. It says you should never wear your best trousers when you go out to fight for freedom and liberty. It's going to get dirty. Yeah. That was Henrik Ibsen. I don't know, but they wrote it down because they liked this quote. This other guy, you've never heard of this guy. The cause of civil liberty must not be surrendered at the end of 1 or even 100 defeats. Abraham Lincoln. I mean, just reading these guys, they understood it. Here's one. A country cannot subsist well without liberty, nor liberty without virtues. Stand up for what's right. All it takes is for evil to prevail in this world. It's for good men and good women to do nothing. Don't be silent. Stand up for the right thing. And so I got a couple left. Here's one. You've never heard of this guy. It's one sentence. The basis of all democratic state is liberty. Freedom. Are you free? Are you living to die or dying to live? When it's like Braveheart, freedom. Remember that? Mel Gibson? Well, you're just kind of taking this to extremes. Oh, fine. Then keep getting cooked in the squat. Keep living a life of quiet desperation. I am telling you the truth. He was telling you the truth. He went door to door talking politics. You get shot. I'm surprised he didn't get shot. I mean, that's gutsy though. And then he learned through his failures, like, let's change it. So what would you like to see change? And just let him talk. And then he listened and he heard. And then you wonder why he understands the values of a great leader. Do you really listen? Do you seek first to understand? Or you just want to, here's how it is. Are you hearing their heart? It was so good. Here's one. Thomas Jefferson. I would rather be exposed to the inconveniences of attending to too much liberty than those of attending a small degree of it. Thomas and Jefferson. Here's another one. We'll end with this. I love this. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. JFK, John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
Even JFK in the Bay of Pigs back in the 60s with Cuba and Russia trying to put missiles right off our coast of Florida there in Cuba. I mean, it's just right there, man. They float over on inner tubes. And they stood up for freedom and liberty for the greatest nation on earth. Our nation is messed up, yep, but it's the greatest nation on earth. I just traveled the world for 8 weeks. And there's some nice, beautiful places, but man, there's nothing like this country. I'm not talking about for our luxuries. I'm talking about for our freedoms. And people will put you down, but man, let me tell you what, this is the longest surviving democracy in the history of the world. And do your part. Step up for your freedom. So here's the deal. Let me ask you a question. Think of your favorite car. For me, I'm going to buy a cabin here this next year up in Incline Village because I need to escape California for other tax reasons and legal reasons. So I picked Incline Village. You know, I personally rather live in Truckee. But I'm going to live in Incline Village because I have a Nevada address, and I'm going to put a GMC Yukon in the garage just when I'm there. And it's just kind of like the family 4-wheel drive, snow, summer, fun. That's my kind of a car. I'm a big guy, like a big car, right? But how about you? What is your little dream car? Think of it. Is it a motorcycle? Think of the car right now. You got it in your mind? What if I said, I have one of those sitting right out here. It's a year and a half old. It's in mint condition. It looks like it just drove off the showroom floor. And you can have it, but you need to go get $1,600 and give it to me by 5 o'clock today. And I'm going to hand you the keys and you'll own it outright. How many of you could do that, right?
Yeah.
You do that for a car you like. How many of you had cars of your life? Was it life-changing? Oh, it's nice, it's fun, it's great. Did you know that build 31 speakers, 3 days? You need a shot in the arm more than you ever realized it. And interest rates may shoot up in the next month or two. It's going to be a meat grinder. And you could go into it with nothing, or you could get the shot in the arm and the multivitamins and the strength and the internal fortitude and fiber you need. Every single one of you should be there, but you're not going because it's $1,600. Flight's $500 right now because you waited. It's $500. The rooms, if you share a room with someone, we'll round up, call it $200 a night. That's $400. That's $900. And a ticket is $697. Let's just call it $700. Add that to the $900. It's $1,600. Now y'all are like, yeah, I'd go fine. I'd go, rob a 7-Eleven by 5 and get the $1,600 or whatever. I'd have it done, but I'm not going to go to build. I'm too busy. I don't have time. That's like saying, I'm not stopping for gas. I'm going to keep driving. And we will find you on the side of the road out of gas. You need to review your tank. David McCoy told me 15 years ago, been doing this 27 years. Why do you keep going to events? I go every 3 or 4 months. Always have. I go to TEDx. I go to Grant Cardone. I go to Pete. I go to a Create conference with Ken Jocelyn. I go to all the EXP stuff. I might do, well, that's kind of extreme. We're able to give away millions of dollars today. And I've always, you know what I mean? Because I was willing to lean into it. Do you feel resistance right now? Lean into it. So I'll end with this. come to build and get there early and take notes and sit on the edge of your seat. And if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you're probably right. A man or a woman's about as happy as they make up their mind to be. Henry Ford. So I don't need you to go to build. Stay home. You need you to go to build. You need to meet that person for breakfast in the morning that you just bumped into from Fargo. You need to get in at the gym and bump into somebody else who's selling 100 homes a year at $1 million house, and you become friends. You don't know Leonard Fazia from Iowa, but I do. Dad and I, Dad, do you remember going to lunch? You and me, he spoke on the stage. We're all like, wow, 1,200 people in the audience. And I go up to Leonard after everyone left. I go, hey, what are you doing for lunch? He goes, I don't know. I don't have any plans. Can my dad and I take you to lunch? Yeah. And he talked for 30 minutes on the stage and wowed us. We spent an hour with him at lunch. Don't go to build and have lunch alone. Go with somebody. Hey, can I join you guys? Or you want to join us? And then ask the speakers, can I have breakfast with you tomorrow morning? You'd be surprised. They're like, yeah. Or they're going to say this, which is what I'll say to you. I already have a breakfast schedule because I'm already booked out. Even now, I'm booked out. I've thought about breakfast. I've thought about lunch. I've thought about dinner. I've thought about it's all booked out. Because I'm really intense about it. I'm super intentional and purposeful. And you need to be that way too. So here's the deal. But if you're smart, you'll do this. This is what I'd say. Oh, I can't do that. I have a breakfast. I go, oh, any chance I can meet you maybe 30 minutes before, just a simple cup of coffee? You're going to get a yes. Oh, we're going to go with Coldwell Banker. Have you signed the listing contract yet? Well, no, not yet. They're coming over tomorrow to do that. Really? And then you go into why you would like to just talk to them for 10 minutes. Everything's quick. Everything's easy. Was this helpful at all?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to challenge your thinking. I want to get a little crazy. It's the 4th of July. And I want to talk about freedom, liberty, and justice for all, equality, and what we have in this country. Don't take it for granted. You're in a war. Fight the battle. And John Jennings, I love you. And Valerie, you guys are just amazing leaders. Thank you for doing what you do. And of course, everybody online watching, you guys are rock stars. Welcome our friends in Arizona. There's no reason why Clark's business is exploding because he's a student. Oh, if you watch him at Peak or watch him. He's taking notes like crazy. You want to grow? Take notes, implement. Love you guys. Have a great 4th of July.